Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and I'm going to be leading a Roman column that is actually going to be under ambush. This is going to be an online battle. And we're going to go ahead and put this on slow motion. So I've never tried an online ambush battle, and what I decided to do was bring the Western Roman Empire, and you can see my column marching forward. You can actually pan over this. And the Ostrogoths are going to be attacking from all sides. Sharp stone beds on the right covering a whole bank of crossbowmen who are going to start shooting at my men. Then striking on either side are going to be a huge group of these Thracian Oathsworn and Thracian warriors coming into the mix, charging after my general. Catapult shots narrowly missing my general. And on both flanks they're going to be coming in. Luckily he's going to be striking out at my elite spear formation, so I'm going to be able to form up in a defensive perimeter, pull back my general, and try and just sustain this assault. Sorry if it's on slow motion. Let's go ahead and put this on play. So I was able to get a lot of devastating support fire from my units on the side. Put this on pause so we can get an overview, because these ambush battles do get on rather quickly. So I've been attacked from both sides. I had my nice pike wall here, Magister Militum with Cornuti Signores, but they're still sustaining heavy attack from these Thracian warriors. A good amount of them, you can see, were actually picked off by some of my units who threw a lot of javelins at them. That was able to cut down on their forces significantly, plus the supporting fire of my Herculeani Signores. Getting some supporting fire, but still the crush is going to be very extreme on that side. I'm going to be swinging around with a couple of these Signores behind these Thracian warriors to get into the back. Meanwhile, the enemy cavalry has assaulted me on this position. I did have some javelins in the vicinity. And watch this engagement taking place. I'm moving in with a bunch of supporting units over on this side to try and help turn the cav fight to my advantage. If I can free up the cavalry in the back, I'll be able to bring them into the fight. So some of my javelins have been kept into the back, just for reserve and to be able to pepper these forces. Meanwhile, you can see the line of crossbowmen reloading and shooting into my men, picking off my guys, but at least they're going to be targeting the lowest value group. And now you can see my forces are starting to get crushed and overwhelmed. I'm going to reinforce these positions with more guys swarming in through the back. So let's watch some of my Signores actually coming into the fight, coming to the relief of my general. However, the general is going to go down, so it was not able to relieve the pressure on the front of my column. The spearhead of my force was absolutely thrashed by these Thracian warriors and cavalry assaults. You can see the noble Germanic horsemen just absolutely cutting through my lines. And the snake's head of my infantry column has been absolutely crushed. Thankfully, I do have a couple units in reserve, and I'm winning the rear guard action. Over in the middle, he's continuing to commit down the line. At least I do have spearmen here who can hold out a long time in these melee engagements. And now I'm going to start to secure my line. I have some rear guard action having their position here. I can sense that the opponent is going to try and exploit gaps in the line, so I'm going to pull back various positions. And I have been able to chase off the cavalry, clean up the attacking enemy columns here. I'm going to ward the advanced elements of the enemy force off. Get some shots from my Herculeani Signores. Get some parting shots on these retreating Germanic Gothic generals. And yeah, a lot of these plumbata that I have left are going to be excellent for cleaning up these warriors who are great on the attack, but in terms of sustained combat, they're going to just be extinguished by my guys who have nice staying power. So the cavalry force has been dealt with over on this side. Pulled out my cavalry and I'm waiting in the woods, allowing my infantry to finish off this position, and then I'm going to be redeploying my cavalry to scour the woods, do counterattack operations through the forest. Two of them going that way, two of them going to the right, perhaps going to be targeting these crossbowmen who are sitting over there. In this position, he still has a lot of men left over right here. He's been able to clean up my forces, but now he's found himself actually surrounded in this fight. And so a charge from the front, the side, and another group over here. However, we're going to be braced for this Germanic assault. They're going to be in wedge formation, so they're going to penetrate through my line. But I'll have enough staying power, as I've said, to be able to hold these guys back. Some of the incoming enemy fire just absolutely blew up huge chunks of our line. So I'm going to have to send more guys to reinforce this position. I can't hold out much longer, so I have to shift my guys around. And it looks like they're doing everything to just sacrifice their men and hold me up. Just just obliterating my forces. There goes another unit down. So I'm slowly being whittled away by this pressing fire and also these continuous cavalry strikes, but I do have at least some infantry in reserve, and especially the cavalry, who are now going to be coming to the relief of my columns. The crossbowmen are going to be chased off. That's a substantial amount of money that my opponent invested in a unit that didn't really do too much. And they're going to be able to slip away for the most part. I can't really catch up to these lightly armored troops, but it will be enough to chase them off the battlefield. And now the enemy general has fallen, so let's go ahead and look at that. I'm going to land a counter assault with my cavalry onto the Germanic bodyguard force. So it looks like this was a botched assault. The pincer movement on the entirety of my column came down to two positions. One, a huge Thracian charge on my spears and my general. He effectively cut off the head of the snake, but I had enough staying power and support power from the middle of my Roman infantry column to come and actually surround those Thracian warriors and Oathsworns. And in the rear, my cavalry were enough to hold up that front. I'm committing a lot more of my cavalry. Cleaning up action over here while the catapults are still going to be putting on the pressure. More of these shots actually coming in, and they're going to be going for the nearest target. Some of my detachments that are moving in there, and you can see them just being thrown around like ragdolls. So he's definitely taking a lot of my guys, but I'm now in loose formation, charging after these catapults. And some of the cavalry is going to be reforming in the distance, either going to call on more tribesmen to come in and finish the job, or come back and recommit to this fight. So they're going to get their parting shots into the blob of men over there. Doing excellent work on my cavalry, but that's going to be the end of them. I've now come into the woodwork of this area. Enemy cav is going to be committed. But you can see in the distance actually some of my Roman cavalry. They're going to be actually moving around. Let's see if we can't follow some of these cavalry charges. So now we're going to be swarming to the relief of the spearhead of my column. We're going to now puncture the woods, come through in diamond formation, and now come to the flanking relief of my forces. Here comes the rest of my columns coming in. And we're going to catch it, make sure that none of these barbarians are going to be able to escape the onslaught. So we've turned the tides on my opponent, completely surrounded this force at the catapult line. He was hoping to just have perfect shots down and obliterate my men, and yes, I lost a lot in the process. But this was a thwarted effort on the barbarians' part. They amassed huge numbers of forces, and now we're going to be chasing them into their homelands, into the forest. And there's going to be no relief. Some of them are going to try and turn and hold me back, but we're going to be massacring their friends left behind. So it's up to them. Do they want to stand and fight, or face the fate of some of their comrades? So the chase is on over here in the back of the woods. A couple of his men are going to be actually caught, especially over here. So here come the Herculeani, some of the best infantry you can have in the game. So the staying power is definitely proving itself here. And they're going to be cutting into these troops. We're paying blood for blood again. And now the battle is completely in my favor. We've absolutely routed the enemy columns, and there you go, a Pyrrhic victory. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ambush. I would like to actually see if I could play as the ambusher, be a little bit more effective, but this was definitely a killing grounds. You can see the crush that came down on my main line right there, obliterating my general, but it came down to just the tenacity of the heavy Roman infantry that allowed me to pull out that victory. And we can look at the number of units deployed. So yeah, I even had more men than my opponent. He had a 265 kills on that onager, so definitely getting a lot of work done. But his Thracian warriors not being cost effective enough, neither was his Germanic crossbowmen or his horsemen. He probably should have focused all his efforts on one part of the battlefield instead of separating his horsemen too much. My guys all around getting a good amount of kills, especially my cavalry doing pretty well for holding for their own. And the Herculeani, I have to owe it to my heavy infantry. So thanks so much. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.